Hello, I'm Jana, and welcome back to the Crafty Corner. Welcome to day 10 of Craftmas, and today we're going to be creating some holiday magic with some of this year's Sizzix dies. If you'd like to see exactly which dies I'm going to be using, go ahead and pause here. All right, let's head over to the Crafty Corner. Today, we're going to be creating with a whole bunch of this year's Sizzix dies. And to start with, we're going to be working with holiday blocks. Then, for our main sentiment, we're going to be using big tidings. Okay, so we're just going to set these aside for the moment. And let's pull in our foundation. So, for our foundations, we're going to be using Kraft stock, Distress White Heavy stock, Idea-ology Sparkle cardstock, and Metallic Kraft stock. These are all going to be going into our card. I love using a variety of substrates, and this is going to have so many wonderful contrasting colors to play with. Okay, so for our base, the first thing that we need to do is to take some of this double-sided tape, and we're going to create a sticky platform onto which we're going to be sticking our holiday blocks. So I'm just lining up this extra wide double-sided tape onto our heavy white background. Okay, so we've got that lined up. Now we're just going to trim with the tonic snips. Having the double-sided tape is going to make our assembly process so much easier because essentially we're going to be building a puzzle using the holiday blocks. All right, so we've got our background ready to use, and now I'm pulling in all of the parts and pieces that I've die cut from holiday blocks. For the pieces, we have a mixture of Kraft stock, Sparkle stock, and Metallic Kraft stock. These are going to form a lovely neutral background that we can create. So I'm just going to sort out the larger blocks from the decorative pieces first. And we're going to use the large pieces to piece together our background. Then we will embellish with all of these fun little bits. So we're just going to flip over our piece of heavy white distressed cardstock, and we're just going to peel the backing right off. And from there, we'll be able to place all of our blocks onto this background. Now, the tape didn't quite cover the entire piece of cardstock, but that's not going to be a problem. We're just going to take a little bit of collage medium, and I'm going to add a touch of glue so that all of our pieces will be adhesed in place. So I'm just taking that glue and running a few lines along there, and that should be quite good for holding things in place. All right. So now we're just going to take our blocks and start placing them. I'm definitely going to have some overhang on some of these, but that shouldn't be a problem because we can always trim off any excess that we happen to have. The main thing is I want to create a varied background using all of the different textures and colors so that we'll have a great landing space for our other pieces. So just kind of holding things down and trying to create a background. All right. Yeah, I think I want that metallic piece next. We can put that right there. I like that shiny gold next to the sparkle gold. That looks really good. All right, and we'll bring in another piece of Kraft stock. Even if I have similar blocks touching each other, it's not going to really matter because those other mini pieces are going to act as an embellishment, and I'll be able to get some diversity in our background. Okay, and we'll put that piece there. Good. So I think now I'm just going to trim off these pieces hanging over the edge, and I should be able to use one of them to fill in that gap at the bottom. So again, we're just taking our tonic snips and cutting off the overhang. Okay, so I'm just going to take some of that Kraft gold, and that's going to fill in that spot beautifully. Okay, so we now have our foundation. Okay, so that fits perfectly right there. Now I'm just going to take the tonic snips and I'm going to trim all of the bits and pieces that are hanging over the edge of our card base. All right, there we go. Let's sweep up these extra little pieces so I can put those aside, and we can flip our base back over and start filling it up with all these wonderful pieces from holiday blocks. So the main thing I'm trying to do right now is make sure that I'm not putting same colors with same colors. Like, we don't want to put Kraft on Kraft, and I don't want to do metallic on metallic, but I could do like glitter on metallic or metallic on glitter. So we're just trying to layer things up and build some visual interest with the different colors that we have going on right now. So for now, I'm just going to be taking all these parts and pieces, and we're just going to be playing and building up some layers. We've got these great house pieces, and we can definitely layer them with some of the zigzags, some of the trees, and some of the little sparkly bits. Right now, I'm taking this super tall house, and I'm just trimming it down so it can fit that top block, and then I'll be able to add extra pieces over the top. Okay, so let's just finish trimming off the bottom of this house, and that should fit along that top row. Okay, so now that I've got most of the really big pieces in place, it's time to start adding some of the little embellishments. So we've got a variety of trees, snowflakes, zigzags, and little sparkles. And I'm just going to continue to add these to different parts of the card just to create some texture and interest for this background. Oh, I like the snowflake piece, and not to mention you get the cutout of the snowflake, and then you also get the snowflake as a bonus piece. That is cool. And then you can use that little snowflake to go on top of this circle cutout. Okay. Definitely enjoying this. It's like a puzzle, just trying to figure out where all of the little components go. And if you don't like something, since I haven't glued anything down right away, it's really easy to move and just change my mind mid-process. This is typically how I like to work. If I'm working on a really complex background, I like to do a general layout. That way I can kind of do like a composition, and I can change things as I go along, because like sometimes your first idea isn't always your best idea. So I really enjoy the process of just switching things around and trying things out, because you never know what you're going to end up with, and I find that part to be really neat. Okay, another tree there. I'm liking that. Let's see. What else can we add? Maybe a little piece over there. Oh, I've got more of those little sparkly pieces. Ooh, that's good. Now, the only thing I'm really trying to do is make sure that we're keeping all of our different colors sorted and just trying to add as much contrast as possible with this background. Ooh, the sparkle cardstock. That is lovely. I think I'm going to add just another tree, and then we're going to be ready to glue everything down. And for this part, we're going to speed things up as I go in with collage medium and stick all these lovely little pieces in place. Ooh, I am loving this background. We've kind of got a bit of a neutral thing going on here with the brown and the sparkling Kraft stock. All right, now let's pull in our next die set, Big Tidings, and we're going to be using the word Noel as our main centerpiece for this card. Now, I've already die cut these pieces out, and now we just need to get down to the assembly bit. Okay, so I die cut Noel out of some Kraft stock, and I also use some of the Sizzix textured cardstock as well. I absolutely love the texture on here, and it reminds me of some of the old vintagey Tim Holtz paper, which I absolutely miss. But at least I can get this through Sizzix, so I will call it a win. All I'm going to do here is add some glue to the back of the letters, and I'm just doing some basic lines, not too much because I do want to avoid glue ooze. So we'll just take that first layer and put that right over the top. So just lining this up and carefully placing that onto our craft stock background. Okay, so lined up. Ooh, just gotta wiggle that little bottom piece at the end. I want to make sure I've got even spacing around the word. All right. I think I'm just about satisfied with this. And there we go. Definitely happy with the sentiment. All right, so we have this piece all ready, and that's going to get stuck right onto the card. But you know, that is almost too much brown on brown. I think I'm going to cut out the interior of the O and the bits around the E. So I'm just going to be taking the tonic snips, and I've pushed through the craft stock, and I'm going to just carefully cut and make a border going around the other letters. And then I'm going to have that nice cutout where the O is. And that's going to allow us to see a bit more of our sparkling background. Okay. There we go. Much better. So I do want to do the same thing on the other side. There we go. All good. So now we're going to be taking some foam squares, and these are some mini foam squares from Simon Says Stamp, and we're going to use that to give our sentiment a little bit of a lift. So we're just going to stick those down, and then I'll remove the sticky backing things, and we'll be able to stick that right onto our card front. Okay. Now, when removing the backings of these teeny tiny foam squares, if I've got enough nails to work with, I can easily peel them up. But sometimes if I've just trimmed my nails, then I like to go in with a die pick, and that makes it really easy to lift off the backings of these itty bitty square pieces. So right now we're just going to peel all of these off. Oh, we've got quite a few here today. I've got at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 of these on the back of the sentiment. But I really do like the small ones because they're easy to use on die cuts and they fit perfectly on the back of the sentiment. All right. Last one. Good. So we can go ahead and add this to our card. Oh, definitely so much better since we did the cutouts on the interior of that letter space. There we go. That is good. All right. So the last thing that I want to do is add a label sticker. And let's see, we're just going to use December 25th. Good. So the rest of the embellishment of the card is pretty simple, but our backdrop is really the centerpiece, and it is absolutely popping. And I love the color combination that we were able to create with this. I'm definitely feeling like this card is pretty much done, but you know, I kind of want to do something in the corners. So let's see. Well, for starters, I can embellish a little bit with these beautiful white snowflakes. And let's bring in some droplets. These are some of the Tim Holtz Idea-ology holiday droplets, and we're going to go for those really pale blue droplets, and those are going to give that card a finishing touch in the corners. Okay, one more. There we go. And of course, we're going to go in and glue these down with a dash of collage medium. So I'm just going to go around to all four corners with a drop of the collage medium, and then we can add our droplets. That pearl finish is definitely complementing the rest of the card, and the color is perfect for this. All right, so we're just going to go around the corners, place the droplets. There. Yeah, I like that. That's definitely adding the right touch that I was going for. And the last one. Great. The droplets really added a lovely finish to the card. Really happy with that. So, I would call this card completed. And look at that background. The background is the absolute showstopper on this card. Thank you so much for joining me here today at the Crafty Corner for day 10 of Craftmas. Today we were exploring some Tim Holtz Sizzix dies, big tidings, and festive blocks. I had so much fun with the creation of this card and exploring a variety of Idea-ology substrates. I hope that you will join us next time for day 11 of Craftmas. Until next time, happy crafting.